Hello all, welcome back. All right. So now we are going to see the chapter database management system, NIOS grade 12. Subject is computer science. Chapter 23, database management system. So you should be able to know what is database management system. First, you should know how to define it, right? So let me define also. Before that, let's warm up. What do you know about database management? Do you already know anything about database management system is what we are going to see, right? So what is a database, right? A database is an organized collection of related data, right? You're storing the tables like employee, inventory management, right? Those tables you're going to store in the database. So that is a database. So it is an organized collection of related data. That is called database. You have to understand that. What is meant by data redundancy in databases? So data redundancy means having multiple copies of the same data stored in the database. Okay, multiple copies. You may have duplicate data, right? So that is called data redundancy. That should be avoided in DBMS. That is what is ultimate goal, right? So what is database management? What is DBMS? What is database management system? Database management system in short form is called DBMS, right? So a DBMS is a software that allows you to create, manage, and maintain the database. So you have to understand this. So what is a relational database? A relational database stores data in the form of tables consisting of rows and columns. So that is called relational database. So this is what you have to know. Those who already are aware of the computer, have computer knowledge, those who are in engineering area, those who are already studying the computer science will know about the database for sure. All right. So next is, by the end of this chapter, you will be learning what the meaning and importance of database and DBMS. Then the problems with manual database and how computerized database solve them. Basic database terminologies such as tables, records, fields, and keys. The concept of relational database and their structure. An overview of SQL and its role in database management system. So we are going to first see what we are going to see the database management system, what it is, what are the various terminologies involved in it. Then we are going to go for the MySQL database. So we are going to create database, we are going to insert the values, we are going to select the values, right? The queries we will do it. So that we are going to see today. So now learning in focus. This is where we are going to focus. What we'll be seeing, understanding database concepts and why database or data storage is necessary. Learning key DBMS terminologies such as entity, attribute, relational keys. These are all we'll be seeing. So exploring data models, conceptual, logical, and physical models. Then introduction to MySQL as a relational database management system. All right. So this is where we have to do it. Now let's learn now and then come back to the PowerPoint. All right. So let's learn now. Before that, let me share 1 minute. All right. 1 minute, please hold on. So let me share it. All right. So I have shared it now. You should be able to see the, yeah. So this is DBMS. You have to understand the terminologies involved. That I told you already, right? So what is a database? A database is an organized collection of related data. So example, collection of employee and department tables. EMP and department, DEPT. They are the table names, okay? So storing employee and department information is a database. Collection of employee and department together, right? It's a database. So DBMS is what? It's a software used to create, store, retrieve, and manage data in the database. So like you are using the DBMS like Oracle or a MySQL to insert, update, delete records in the employee table or the department table. All right. The RDBMS. What is RDBMS? It's a next version of DBMS. That is a relational database management system. So you will have relations there. So it's a DBMS that stores data in related tables using keys like primary key, foreign key, and all. You will be using it here. Okay, so suppose a department, you have the department table where department number is there. You also have the employee table where you have the department number. You connect both the tables using the foreign key, right? So that is called relationship, right? So that comes under the RDBMS. So you have to understand this. So database you have to know. You should know what is DBMS. You should know what is RDBMS. So relational database. What is the relational database? 1 minute. Let me. Okay. Okay, relational database. A relational database is a database where data is stored in tables with rows and columns related using keys. The table will be arranged in terms of rows and columns, right? EMP and department tables linked by department number. This is a relational database. All right. Now let's see one by one. We'll see what is a primary key. A primary key is a key that uniquely identifies a row, right? It's not a question mark. Actually, it is so these in department table, you will have a DEPT dot department number is nothing but DEPT is the table name and department number is the column name. So EMP dot EMP number, EMP is the table name and EMP number is the column name. So these columns are uniquely identifies that table, right? EMP number cannot be duplicate. Department number cannot be duplicate. So they are considered as a primary keys or candidate keys or primary keys. Okay, there can be only one key, primary key in a table. So this key will uniquely identifies a record. That is called primary key. You have to understand what is a primary key. Very good. Great. So now next is schema. What is a schema? You have to understand. Schema is nothing but it's a structure of a table. Let me remove this. Yeah. Sorry. Let me again go and paste it. Schema. You see here? Yeah, there are two tables here, EMP table and department table. So structure of a table. What is the structure? So you have the structure like in the employee, you will have employee number, e-name, right? Job, salary, department number, and they have their own data types. Like employee number is an integer, e-name is a variable character, job is a variable character, salary is a decimal, and department number is an integer. In department table, department number is an integer, department name is a string, and location is a string or variable character. So these are two tables, right? Employee table and department table. So the structure of the table is called schema. You have to understand what is a primary key, what is a schema. We have seen it, right? All right. Next. Wait a minute. Okay. Next is what? Next is we'll see what is an entity. Very important. Entity is a real world object. You see, it's a real world object. Like for example, employee, department, these are all tables, right? So all the objects that is stored in the database is called an entity, real world object. So the objects that is stored in the database is called entity. You have to understand this. All right. So next is relation. So relation is a table in the database, right? And how do you relate it? Employee and department is related by a foreign key, right? Department number. So that is called a relation. So you relate so employee table is separate and department table is separate, but you connect them using the foreign key. That is department number is in both the tables, you connect them. So you relate them. That is called relation. Understood? All right. Next is a tuple and an attribute. What is a tuple? What is an attribute? I'll tell you. So let me first paste both of them and then tell you. Yes, very simple. 1 minute. I think there is some problem here. 1 minute. Let me open it. Hold on. And then let me share it. Yeah. Now let me paste it. Tuple. Yeah. And then attribute. Yeah. You see here, tuple is nothing but a single row. A row in a table is called a tuple. It's a record. Row. tuple, all are same. A single row. For example, you have employee number 1015, Blake, manager, salary, department number in the employee table. This is a row, right? A column in a table is called an attribute. Like employee number is a column. Names, jobs, salaries, department number. These are all what attributes or columns. Column are an attribute. Row is called a record or a tuple. So you have to understand what is a tuple and an attribute. Very important in the database. Okay. Okay. Valid values. Domain. You should understand what is a domain. Domain means a valued attribute. You see valid attribute. What are the valid attributes? Integers. Like for example, if you take employee number, right? They are all integers like 1015, 1016. These are all valid integers for employee number. Then character strings is e-name is what? Blake, Martin, Christina, and all are e-names, right? They are valid values for the attribute. And then salary. Salary is valid decimal values, right? There are 4,800 salary dollars. $5,000. These are all salaries. So valid values for an attribute is called a domain. You have to know this. Understand this. All right. Next is a foreign key. Very important foreign key and a primary key. You have to understand both. One minute. Let me erase this. Yeah. Now let me paste this. Now you can see what? You can see the foreign key, right? What is foreign key? Foreign key is an attribute that refers to the primary key in another table. Because see, department number is having department number as a primary key. But in employee table, department number will become a foreign key. Because that becomes a primary for another table, right? For department table. So employee number dot department number. Employee is the table name, EMP is the table name, and department number is the column name. So that reference, that what does it refer? It refers department number of the department table. So that is called a foreign key. You have to know this. Candidate key. What is a candidate key? See, candidate key is also like a primary key only. It uniquely identifies a record. But what is the difference? There can be multiple candidate keys in a table, whereas a primary there can be only one primary key in a table. Right. So employee number, department number, these are all what? These are all candidate keys. It can be called as a candidate key. Under the candidate key, primary key. Primary key will uniquely identify a particular, identifies a record, but there can be only one primary key in a table. Whereas a candidate key, there can be multiple candidate keys in a table. So that is the difference. All right. Next is what we'll see. Okay. Next is alternate key. Alternate key is a candidate key that cannot be chosen as the primary key, because you see e-name, employee names can be unique, but it cannot be called as a primary key, right? Employee name, you cannot put it as a primary key because there may be duplicates, there may not be duplicates, right? For the employee names. So that is why it is not considered as a primary key. It is considered as an alternate key. For the employee, for the primary key, it can be considered as an alternate key. Next is normalization. Very, very important. This is to reduce the redundancy. You use this process. You use the process to reduce the redundancy. So the process of reducing the redundancy and improving data integrity is called normalization, which is a very, very important concept is in RDBMS. So department details stored in department table instead of repeating in EMP table, right? In EMP table, department number is repeated, right? But in department table, it is not repeated. So you have to arrange the data in the form of RDBMS, in the form of relational method, right? So there should not be the data redundancy should be there. The redundancy should be avoided. Redundancy should be there. It means the data redundancy should be avoided, right? So normalization is the process of reducing this redundancy and improving the data integrity. All right. Now we'll move to the data models. Wow, great. So data models is what? There are three types of data models. One is called conceptual data model. So employee works in a department, right? High level view showing entities and relationships. Employee works in a department. So this is a conceptual data model, right? Logical model is what? Shows tables, columns, and keys. Like logical data model is, it is showing the employee number as a primary key and department number as a foreign key. And you have the department which is having the department number as a primary key. This is a logical data model. Whereas conceptual data model is coming at the top level, high level. right? Employee working in the department. Physical data model is what? How data is actually stored in the database, right? Table stored with indexes on employee number and department number, right? So this is actually the three types of data model. You just need to know the definition and example, that is it. No need to go deep into it. There are too many things in data models. It can be even you can go to the advanced levels, but we need not study any advanced levels. You need to know what are the three data models and give examples for that. That is more than enough for this grade 12. All right. So now we have completed this theory part. Now we'll go to the practical part. Practical part is what? You have to install the SQL. What you have to do? You have to install MySQL. Right? You have to install what? You have to install MySQL. So to do MySQL, you have to download XAMPP software. You have to install the XAMPP. So when you type it in the Google XAMPP, it will give you the link. You download it and install it. From there, I will take you to the MySQL. First, you have to, in the Google, you search for XAMPP. So it will give the first link that you get, you click it. So there will be a download option. You download it and install it. That will not take more space and more time. Immediately it can be downloaded and you have to install it to work on the MySQL. MySQL is a database, right? So now let's move to the MySQL part. Okay. So now, wait a minute. All right. Wait, let me erase it. Let me show you how it is. I'll also show you practically. Let me show you. But this is the window that appears when you open the XAMPP control panel. First, you have to download the XAMPP from this link, apachefriends.org/download.html. You go there and download it. Then open the control panel. I'll show you practically. You have to see there are two start buttons there. One is for Apache module and the MySQL module. You have to start. You have to start those modules. Otherwise you won't be able to work on the MySQL. You have to start it and admin. You see, when I go, you can go to the, if you want to create and manage the tables, you can go to the admin of MySQL, but we are not going to the admin because we are going to the shell. That is command prompt. From there, you have to know how to create tables, how to insert values, how to select values using the shell. You can see there is a shell button there. You have to click on that. But before that, first of all, whenever you install the XAMPP, you have to start MySQL and Apache together. Only then you can work on MySQL. Otherwise, you won't be able to work on the MySQL. Once you start it, there will be option to stop it also. Once you stop it, you cannot work on the MySQL. You start it, you can see start there. It has been started with some port numbers. You can see the port numbers. Yeah, so you can stop it also. So first you have to start both of MySQL and Apache modules. Then you have to click the shell button, right? This is what you have to do first. Then after that, wait, let me tell you, and then practically I will show it to you. After that, what you have to do, after clicking the shell button, you will move to this particular thing. You can see here, you can move to this window control panel. So you have to type MySQL -u space root. After that, you will go to the prompt. So you have to, when you get the prompt, you can see at the bottom, you can see MariaDB none, prompt is there. So you have to get that prompt. How do you get that prompt? By typing MySQL space -u space root. When you type that, you will go to the prompt. Here you can create, you can insert values, you can select the values, you can update the table, you can modify the table, you can alter the table, do everything with this prompt. All right, now let's do it practically now. Now I'm going to go with the control panel. Wait, let me share actually. You see here, this is where you're seeing here. So now let me go to the XAMPP. You can see here. I think you will be able to see this. Yes, go to programs and XAMPP. Otherwise, what you do in the search button, you type XAMPP. XAMPP. You can see control panel here. Click on the XAMPP control panel. Now you see the control panel is being displayed here. You can see there. Now it has been stopped actually. You can start it now. See, I am going to start it. So port, you can see the port there. It has been started, and then MySQL, I have started it. And then you can go to the admin. of MySQL. When you go to the admin of MySQL, it opens GUI where you can directly you no need to know the commands. You can see the table names, you can see the database names, you can create tables. It is taking little bit time. I'll show it to you anyway. Yes, you can see this here. On the left hand side, you can see new database. You can see the database there, which is displayed new information schema, MySQL. These are all databases. When I give a new means a new database is created. Under that database, you can create the EMP and department table. You have the option. See on the top, you can see the menus, databases, SQL, status, right? User accounts, everything is there. This is the GUI. So, but we are not considered about the GUI. You have to know the queries. So that is why we are going to the shell prompt. So now I'm going to the XAMPP. Let me close this. Okay, let me close this and then let me go to the shell. See, I went to the shell now. So now what I do is I type MySQL -u root. You see, I went to the prompt. Now what you have to do, you have to type create tables. First create the database. There is no database now, employee database. Under the employee database, you have the EMP table. You have too many tables. You can have too many tables under one database. So database is employee, EMPLOYEE. So what I do is I create the database. So create database employee, right? You have to, and then semicolon. You have to give semicolon for all statements. Now you see. Now database one row affected. So how do you see the database? By using use employee. So use employee means you are into the database. You are moving into the database, right? Now I have databases changed. Now it has become, instead of none, now it has become employee. You see MariaDB none. Now it is MariaDB employee. Now I have created the database and I'm using the employee now. You have to use the employee. Otherwise it will be using some other databases. So you have to use the database name. Now what I do is I create the table. So how do I create the table? Let me tell you. Let me tell you how to create the table. Before that, let me first show you. One minute. Yeah, these are the two tables you see here. Now I have to keep switching between this. These are the two tables. Database name is employee. You are creating two tables, department and employee. You see master table is DEPT and department dependent table is EMP. You can see their employee number, name, job, salary, department number with the values there. You see the tuple and domain or attribute. You see the tuple there, records, and the columns are attributes, right? The department table, you have it. So department number, you see the department number there in the department table, right? So now, okay. Wait a minute. This one is actually the master table. Wait a minute. I think there is one mistake is there. So this is actually, I'll bring it here. This one, and this is the department dependent table. So I move this to the top. 1 minute. Yeah. What I do is I move it to the top. This is the dependent table and master table is this. Yeah. You see the master table at the bottom, department DEPT, dependent table is on the top, employee table. So now you have employee number, which is an integer, name is a variable character, job is a job, salary is a decimal, and department number is a integer. Same thing with department number. Department name is a string, location is a string, department number is an integer. Now department number in the master table is a primary key. In the employee table, employee number is a primary key, but department number is a foreign key. So we should know how to create the foreign key, which is very simple. So let's do that. So what I'm doing is, wait a minute. Yes, now you have seen the table. You please see this table because I'm going to erase this. So you have the dependent table, employee, you remember the column names, EMP number, name, job, salary, department number, and master table DEPT, department number, department name, and location, right? So now what I'm going to do is create table. See, employee number, create table, table name within parentheses. You can give it in a straight line also, but to show it in a better way, I have segregated in different rows. So EMP number int is a primary key. You have to define it nearby. Int EMP number data type name, the column name, data type name, and the primary key, the key, primary key. E-name variable character of 20. What is 20? 20 characters maximum you can give for e-name. Job variable character of 20. Salary and an integer. Salary you can give it as a decimal also. But here, since I am giving it as integers, all salaries, you can give it. Decimal means you can give decimal of, I'll tell you here, decimal means, you see, suppose if I give a decimal, you have to give like decimal of 7 comma 2. What is meant by 7 comma 2? 7 total is 7. Say 50,000. Suppose if it is 50,000, 0.75. So the total digits is 7. So that you have to give it in front. And how many decimal places? 2 decimal places. So decimal of 7 comma 2 you can give. If you want to give the salary as a decimal, you have to give decimal of 7 comma 2 or 8 comma 2. It depends number of digits in the including the decimal number of digits you have to calculate and give. Okay, so department number is an integer. Constraint. Now foreign key, I have to define the foreign key. How do you do it? So department number comma constraint. This is the constraint name. FK underscore DEPT is a constraint name. So constraint name and foreign key. You have to specify foreign key of what? Department number. Which column? Department number column. You have to give references DEPT of DEPT number. So DEPT, this is the master table. You have to refer what? Master table of the column name, the whichever you are referring to. So now this is actually the employee table. So now I'm going to create this table. Wait a minute. So I'm going to copy this. Hold on. Okay, let me copy this and paste it here. Okay, constraint is incorrectly formed. Okay, wait a minute, because we have not created a department table. First, you have to create the department table, no? So let's create that. So system CLS will clear the screen. Now what I do is I create the department table. Again, department table you see here. Create table department number in primary key, department name variable character of 20, location variable character. Now I am going to here and then I paste this here. Yes, it's done. So now if I want to describe this table, I write DESC, describe, DESC, DEPT, semicolon. You see here, done. Primary key, you can see this. So now what I do is, now I copy this query and then I paste it here, paste it anyway. Now, yes, very good. It has been affected. Now DESC, EMP, semicolon. Now you see, so I can see the department number null is there. You see key MUL is there, which means that it's a foreign key. So the EMP is a foreign key. Department number is a foreign key. So now we have to insert the values. Now how to insert the values, I'll tell you. There are 2 ways of inserting the values. Let me tell you. So one way is you can give it separately. Let me tell you. See, directly you can give insert into table name, insert into table name values, right? Insert into table name values. You have to give the values. E-employee number is an integer, comma. If it is a string, you have to give single quotes. All the columns you have to give. Insert into EMP values, the employee number, employee name, job, salary, and the department number. You are giving separately. You can give, or if you want to give it together, I'll tell you. So you can give it together means, okay. So this is actually, sorry. Yeah. There are six here. Before that, let me give the department also. Department table. First, let me give the department table. Yes, this is the department table. You can see the department table here. So insert into department. Now I'm going to give the employee table values. You see, this is the employee table values. Employee table values, insert into employee table. Wait a minute. So you can see department table, I'm inserting the values, and department table, employee table, I'm inserting the values. So either you can give separately, one by one you can give, or together if you want to give, you can also give like this. You see, insert into employee values, you first give all the values, comma, the next record set, 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 comma, the next record set. So there are 6 ways you can give it together also. You can give both. Right, let me give the together, right? Let me give it together and see. First, let me insert the values in the department table. So I have 3 records there. Wait a minute, let me, wait a minute, 1 minute. Yes, I have 3 records for the department table. Let me paste it. Because it is not taking there. So what I do is insert into deep, so system CLS, wait. So insert into DEPT values 10 accounting. I can see what I'm doing it, right? See, I'm typing it, next time I'll paste it. Department Washington. That's it, 1 row is affected. Next, same thing, instead I give 20. Marketing, Atlanta. That's it, 1 row is affected. Next is 30. Sales in New York. That's it. Now, if I want to know what are all select star. Star means all the columns. Select all the columns from DEPT. This is the query. All the columns if you want to from the department table. So you see here, 10 accounting it's giving now. Suppose if I want to select only department number 10, you can give select star from DEPT where department number is equal to 10. You see, it is giving only 10. Suppose if you want to say select star from, I want only department name. So department name, select D name. If you want department and location, I can give department and location from DEPT where, suppose if you want to know the location which starts with the W, right? So what I do is where location is equal to semicolon, because you have to give the quotes, right? Because it's a string. So W caps and then star. Star means all. It has to start with W. It can have any number of characters. So I give a semicolon and you see now empty set because it doesn't have, it is saying location is equal to W star. Oh, percentage you have to give, sorry. Percentage. Empty set it is giving. Location is from DEPT where location is equal to percentage. Wait, let me see. From DEPT where, okay, let me say where name is D name is equal to accounting. It's giving empty set. I don't know why. Select star from DEPT. All right. Okay. Suppose if I want to select all the department numbers, say D name and location, whose department number is greater than 20. If I want to display all the departments, not 10, more than 10. So where department number is greater than 10. So what it will do, it will just where department, oh, from that is the reason. Okay, from DEPT I didn't give, see. So that is the reason, from depart table name. You see, it is giving marketing and sales. Did you see that? Department number 20 and 30 is giving because department number greater than 10. Suppose if you want to know, okay, let me first insert the values for the employee table also, and then we will, okay. So first record I am going to give, it's okay. So second record, let me copy and pasting it. Right, and then third record I'm copying and pasting it. Semicolon you have to give, otherwise it will not go. Okay, semicolon. So 3 rows are affected. Now fourth one. I'm doing it one by one instead of together. So one more is affected. Then next, I'm going for the sixth record. I mean fifth record. Okay, it is done. So I'm going for the last record. That's it. Now let me start from EMP. You see here? Very simple. So select star from. If you want only, if you want wait a minute. If you want, okay, select star from EMP where job like M percentage. Like, yes, that is what I didn't give in department. Like, job like means whichever starts with the job is starting with letter M. Suppose if I want to know the jobs which is starting with letter M, what is the starting with the manager, right? So details of all the details of the employee whose job starts with M. You see here from employee syntax. Wait, percentage M. You have an error in SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to MariaDB version. You have error in your SQL syntax. Wait, start from EMP where job like M percentage. Okay. So let me, okay. Start. Okay. I have given 2C. You see here? Yes. You see manager has come. We should not make any mistakes. If you make a single mistake, it will not, because I put SCLECCT instead of select, I put 2Cs. That's why it was giving error. So you have to understand the errors, you have to correct the errors. So starting with M. So you should now understand jobs. Suppose if I want select star from EMP where multiple conditions, where employee number is greater than 1016 and e-name like, that is employee number should be greater than this and e-name should start with M. You see, why it is giving only one record. Okay, wait a minute. Greater than 1016, employee number greater than 1016 and e-name like, oh, e-name, oh, sorry, e-name is M. If I give job, it will give two records. You see, two records. Yeah. So employee name greater than 1016, there is only one employee name which starts with M, which is Maxwell. Whereas employee number greater than 1016 and job is starting with M means you have two records, right? 1019 and 1020. So now you have multiple conditions you can do like this. Suppose if you want to select employee number for employees, if you want to department number only 10 and 20, I do not want 30. So what you can do from employee where department number in 10, 20. Oh, from. See, I'm making, see, I have made this spelling mistake. See, instead of from, I have given form. You see here? It is giving only values of 10 and 20. Very simple. Right? So what you have to do in department number in. If not in means what? Not in means it will give only 30. That's it. So in means it will give all the values which is particular, which is pertinent to that. Not in means it will not give those values. It will give the other values which is not 10 or 20, which is 30. So this is how you have to select the record. So we have updated it. Suppose if I want to update a salary, suppose say for example, Martin's salary is 2,600. I want to change it to 2,700. So what I do is update EMP set, update the table name, set salary is equal to 2,700. You should, if you just give like this, it will update everybody's salary to 2,700. So where employee number is equal to, what is employee number of Martin? 1016. So 1016. That's it. So now you see here, it is changed. Now select star from EMP. You see here 2,700 is being changed. So you can update the values. Suppose if you want the salary to be in the decimal, so what you can do is You can have select, update, alter table, alter the table name. What is the table name? EMP. Modify, add. If you want to add a column, you have to give add column name and the data type name. Here modify, because you're modifying the salary, right? So modify salary decimal of 7,2. You see here it is affected. Now if I give describe EMP, now you see it has become a decimal of 7,2 salary. Now when I select the values star from EMP, it will give the decimal values. You see here 5,200.00.00. You can have how many you can have? You can have 7 digits including the decimal. In that 2 digits should be the decimal uh, number of decimal digits should be 2. So you can alter the table. If you want to add a column, you have to say alter table, add column name, new column name, and the data type. Alter table, table name, add, okay, add column name, the new column name, and data type. It's data type you have to give. So it will be added, new column will be added, and you can describe that table. And after that, you can update the table, right? You can update the table with that columns. That's it. Right, this is how you have to update. You can update the table, you can alter the table, right? Update the table, alter the table. You can delete the table. Suppose if I want to delete Blake's record, not Blake's record, so for example Martin's record, so delete from table name where EMP number. If you say greater than, means all the numbers greater than will be deleted. So is equal to 1016. So Martin's record will be deleted because you see that Martin is 1016. Now it is affected. Now select star from EMP. You see now Martin is deleted. So now you see that you can have the delete option. Star, select star from EMP, and you can give the where condition. Delete from table name, you can give the where condition. You can give multiple where condition, where this is equal to this, and this is equal to this, and this is equal to any number of conditions you can give. Right? So I told you how many queries. So these are all the queries that you can go ahead with. So it is very simple for you to learn the MySQL. So now I will tell you, I'll come back here now. Yeah. Now let me tell you about the DDL, DML, and DCL. That is very important. Yeah. Now we have learned all the creation, selecting, insert, update, delete, and all. Now you see here. So we need not. DDL is what? Creating. The creating of the table, altering the table, and dropping the table is all DDL. Data definition language defines database structure. Right. Data manipulation language. You can manipulate the data. You can select the data. You can insert the data. You can update the data. You can delete the data. So this is DML. DCLS, you need not worry about DCL. We are not going to learn more on this. Grant and revoke privileges. You're going to give privileges to the table for the other users, right? If other user is coming in, you can give the privileges, grant privilege the table name to that particular user, it will be granted. Or you can revoke that privilege from the user. So that comes under the DCL, data control language. So what are the different SQL types are there? DDL, data definition language, data manipulation language, data control language. Data control language is used to control the access to data. Data manipulation language is used to manipulate the data. It can be a select statement, it can be an insert statement, it can be an update statement, it can be a delete statement. DDL is what defines database structure, data definition language, and examples are create, alter, and drop. Drop we have not seen because we have created all the tables, we have created the database. You know how to select values, you know how to insert the values, you know how to update the values, you know how to delete the values, right? So now let's delete the values. Now let's drop the table. When you drop the table, you won't have it again. So now wait a minute, let me erase this. Okay, now let me go here. Yeah. Now let's see here. Drop table name, table EMP. So when you drop the table EMP, you cannot do anything on the table. That's it. Now when you say describe EMP, table doesn't exist. You see here. Now you can drop department table also. Sorry, drop table DEPT. You see, that's it. Now when you give DEPT, doesn't exist. Now you can use employee again, right? You can use employee again. You can use it because database is there. Now if I want to drop the database, the entire tables, whatever is stored under it will be gone. So drop database employee. That's it. Affected. Now when I say use employee, it says it doesn't exist. Unknown database. So we have seen all the commands in the database. We have seen what is all the database terminologies, like tuple, what is the primary key, foreign key. We have seen two master table and a dependent table we have seen. And then we have also seen the practical, real practical I showed it to you before you, right? Just practice on it. Just try to create two tables. Let me, wait a minute. Let me have, you see here. So I have one exercise here where you can have, wait. Let me paste it and show it. You see, this is the master table. You can see the master table here. You also see the dependent table here. You see, I can have, see, this is just a table, new table, right? So new table, I have just showing it. You can take a screenshot of it. You see, master table is what? What is the structure? Course ID, course name, and duration. And department table is student is what? Student ID, student name, age, and course ID. So these are all, you see the values are there. You can insert the values. You can select the values. You can delete the tables and all. So master table, dependent table, you have to know. Foreign key is what? Course ID is the foreign key of the dependent table, student. But course ID will become the primary key of the master table course. So this is just like employee and DAPT. I'm just showing you an example on this, like master table course and dependent table student, course and student. You can have an inventory table, you can have an invoice table, you can do the online reservations and all using the master tables and the dependent tables. You can do this very, very simple. So you can, I just to show, you can to create, I just showed you two exercises here that you can do an exercises on this. You can create these tables, you can insert the values, you can update the values and just check using the queries. You can check, right? So I'm just showing an exercise to you, so which will be very simple for you. You can do as an exercise. Okay, but while returning, now I'm going to return to the PowerPoint now. Okay, we have done with it. So now pause and think. We should know what are the different, let's see, we have seen the database managed terminologies, practicals, everything we have seen. Why is it difficult to manage large amounts of data without a DBMS? Right? Without DBMS, large data becomes difficult to organize, right? Organize, update, secure, and maintain the accurately. So that is why it is difficult to manage large amounts of data without a DBMS. So again, let me tell you, without a DBMS, large data becomes difficult to organize, update, secure, and maintain accurately. That is the answer for this. How does a DBMS help in maintaining data integrity? A DBMS enforces rules and constraints to ensure data remains accurate and consistent. That is the answer to it. Again, let me repeat. A DBMS enforces rules and constraints to ensure data remains accurate and consistent. That is the answer for this. Okay. Why is normalization important in database design? Normalization reduces the data redundancy. That is very important, and improves the data consistency in the table. Data integrity is maintained, right? So how are entities and relationships identified before creating a database? Right? So entities and relationships are identified by analyzing real world objects and how they are related. So this is how they are identified before creating a database. All right. So what we have learned, a database is an organized collection of related data. A DBMS helps store, manage, and retrieve data efficiently. Relational database stores data in tables consisting of rows and columns, which we saw now. Keys such as primary keys and foreign keys help maintain relationships. SQL is used to define, manipulate, and control data in relational databases. These are all we have seen, right? All right. So check your understanding. What is a primary key? You have to define. See, I will tell you here, but you should know, right? You have to understand this and you have to study. What is a primary key? Primary key is a key which is uniquely identifies a row, like employee number, department number, right? ID, any customer ID. student ID. These are all primary keys. Okay. So what is meant by a foreign key? A foreign key is a key that links one table to the primary key of another table. We have seen, right? Department of number of department table links the department number of employee table. So a department number will become a foreign key in the employee table, right? It refers the department number of the department table. So what is normalization? It is the process of organizing the data into tables to reduce the redundancy. That is the answer to it. What does SQL stand for? Structured query language. SQL means what? Structured query language. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. We will meet in the next video with more interesting features. Let me end the show. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.